kitchen. Today in the kitchen, I am going to make my version of a quick apple cobbler. So let's get to it. We're gonna start off with our ingredients. Since it is an apple cobbler, we're gonna have some apples. I'm using Granny Smith apples. Anytime I cook apples, I always cook with Granny Smith apples. Okay, the easy way to tell if they're Granny Smith, they're green. I have some just plain old yellow cake mix. I have cinnamon, nutmeg, some vanilla flavoring, and butter. It's gonna be just that simple. And I got some lemon juice. It's not an ingredient that I'm cooking with, but I'm gonna add some lemon juice to my apples just to keep them from turning brown, okay? So here's our lemon juice. We are also going to add a cup of white sugar and a half a cup of brown sugar. One of the first things I want to do is slowly start to melt a stick of butter. And then I'm going to chop up my apples. So I'm going to slice my apples. As you can see, they still have the peeling on them. I don't want to take the peeling off. If that's something you'd like to do, you are more than welcome, but I want to leave the peeling on mine. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut these into some thin slices. Let's get that core out of there. See how thin they are? While our butter is melting, I'm gonna slice these and then I'm gonna add the lemon juice. And the lemon juice simply keeps them from turning brown, that's all. It's not giving them any flavor or anything. It's just keeping them from turning brown. The thinner you slice them, the faster they will cook. I'm in no hurry, but make sure you get that middle out of the apple. You don't want that core in there. So I've got 2 more apples to go. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and put my lemon juice in there now. Swish it around a little bit. I'm losing some of the apples. All right, my apples are sliced. I want to go ahead and get those all mixed in. And then we're going to go add our sugar to our butter because it's melted now. So I'm going to stir in the white sugar. It's a lot of sugar. Then I'm going to stir in the brown sugar. And I wasn't sure if I was going to use 2 sticks of butter or not, but I may have to. So let's go ahead and add the other stick of butter because there's more apples than what I thought. Get that in there, let that melt. I'm gonna turn the heat up a little bit to help that melt. Make sure that your sugar is blended very well. You do not want any clumps in there. While that is melting, I'm going to go ahead and add me some cinnamon, some ground cinnamon. Mix that in well. Then I'm going to add some nutmeg. I would do 2 teaspoons of cinnamon and 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. I had 5 apples. Okay, this is starting to melt, so now I'm gonna go ahead and add my apples. Make sure they're nice and coated. Now, when I cook the apples, that's going to release liquid from the apples. So we're going to have a lot more liquid in here because of the apples, because of that liquid from the apples being released. So it's going to be a lot more wet instead of that thick sugary mixture that you saw. We're going to let those cook for about 5 minutes. However, we're going to go ahead and add our vanilla. I'd put a tablespoon of vanilla. We're just going to keep mixing it and let this cook for about 5 to 10 minutes. We're going to let it cook, and then I'm going to check it again in 5 minutes to see if it needs another 5 minutes or not, because we don't want apple sauce, so we don't want it to overcook, but we don't want hard chunks of apple either. Remember, we're going to bake this, so they're going to cook some more anyway. But a lot of apples in here, and they're not all in the bottom, soaking up all that sugary, buttery goodness. I'm going to stir them and try and flip them, so make sure the ones that were on the top get in the bottom so that they all cook. As you can see, it's starting to bubble. It's getting there. It's starting to boil. We don't really want them to boil. We just want them to simmer. So I'm going to turn it down a little. So while that's cooking, for those of you who are new to my channel, I wanted to introduce you to my cookbook. It's called Levon's Kitchen, Learning to Cook with Love. It has over 100 recipes in it. It has soups and salads and desserts, Italian food. It has some of everything. And I believe it's on sale right now through Amazon, although you can get it at my website, which is www.levonskitchen.com. I have sales all the time. It comes in hardcover, softcover, and ebook. So make sure you rush out and get those. And remember, they make awesome gifts. So I'm going to check on the cobbler in a few minutes, see if it's done, and I'll be back. So it's been 5 minutes. I just want to poke them and see how soft they are, and they're not soft, so I'm going to go ahead and let them cook for an additional 5 minutes so that they're soft enough, and that way we know they're done. Now, if you guys know, this is basically the same recipe that I have for my fried apples. So if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. Go check it out. And while these are cooking, you could all do me a favor. Make sure you go out there, hit that subscribe button so that you can see all of the videos. Hit the notification bell so you can see all the videos that I have out there. This is a apple cobbler, Now, I do have a peach cobbler recipe out there as well. Go check that video out as well. That's one of my big hits out there. Our apples are done. And as you can see, remember I told you it's gonna wind up being a lot of juice in there? Because in a cobbler, you want juice. So I'm gonna go ahead and transfer this to another container, a glass container. If you could smell it, you can smell the sweetness and that cinnamon. Oh, it's smelling delicious. Okay, so what I want to do now, that's why I said this is the quick and easy version. I'm not making a crust or anything for this, so watch what I do with this cake mix. I'm going to take this cake mix and sprinkle it on top. Make sure it's all covered. Okay, nice and covered. And then I got another stick of butter that I cut up into little bitty pieces. So I'm gonna take those little bitty pieces and just add them on here. Probably use a couple more. Let me cut up some more. So in all, we've used 3 sticks of butter. I never said this was nutritious, but if you're trying to justify it, you could say it is fruit. But no, I would not say that this is healthy or anything like that with 3 sticks of butter, but it's up to you. So now I have my oven set for 350. I'm going to put this in the oven and we'll be back. It's time to take the cobbler out of the oven, and here we go. Here we go. Oh, look at that. It's hot. It's hot and it's bubbling. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. We're going to have to wait a few minutes to let this cool off before we taste it. But if you could only smell what's going on in here. We got buttery crust. We got apples with cinnamon and sugar. 2 types of sugar. Nutmeg, some vanilla flavor going on. Oh, this is going to be good. I'm going to let it cool off and I'll be back. So I had to wait for it to cool off. Now that it's nice and cool, let me let y'all get another good look at it. I want to dig in. I'm ready. Look at this crust. Ooh, look at these apples. Look at that. Oh, and look at the nice crust on there. And so how easy it was to do the crust. All I did was put some cake mix on there. You can use, make your own crust, or you can use the Pillsbury crust that I use on my peach cobbler. It's all up to you, but they're all good. Remember I told y'all about the juice? Look at all this juice that's in this cobbler. Oh yeah. Oh, it smells so good, y'all. Now that's good. Oh, you taste all that butter. It's not good for you, but it's good to me. Oh, this crust is good. So what happens is, when you pour the cake mix on it, the juice from the cobbler seasons the bottom of the crust, and then the butter seasons the top. So you got that mixture, the top and the bottom on the crust is so good. Look at that. Put some whipped cream on it. Have y'all seen my video about how to make fresh homemade whipped cream? I'll put some ice cream on it. Or just eat it by itself. This is good. Oh, I'm sitting here just eating But I'm gonna go ahead and finish this, and guess what? I'll see you next time in the kitchen. Bye.